Good morning, family. This is Ricky, and welcome to Hope for Today. It is a brand new Monday in the month of May, and y'all know how we roll on a Monday. Get up out your bed, bend the knee, and thank God for another day. It's going to be victory in Jesus all this week. You know why, y'all? Because we're going to act like a thing is so, even though it ain't so, in order that it might be so, because God said so. I'm working on a message for this weekend, and it's coming out of Deuteronomy 6. And just to look at this familiar passage of scripture got me thinking maybe we just ought to walk through Deuteronomy 6 and hope for today. So we're going to go to a very famous passage of scripture. The children of Israel are on the other side of the Red Sea, and they're walking into the promised land, and God has just given them the 10 commandments, and he's now given them the oracles of God that they are passed on to the next generation. And it's a reminder to me and you that there's an expectancy on our lives to live for God because God has rescued us and redeemed us on the cross of Calvary. Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 1, he says, "This is the commandment, the statutes and the rules that the Lord your God commanded me to teach you, that you may do them in the land to which you are going over to possess it." Verse 2 is key. "That you may fear the Lord your God, you and your son and your son's sons, by keeping all his statutes and his commandments, which I command you, all the days of your life, and that your days may be long." That's a lot of language, but I just kind of want to relegate it down to this idea that we see in chapter 6 of Deuteronomy, verses 1 through 2. God is basically saying to the children of Israel, I moved first by doing great things for you. And now I call you to move second by doing great things with the life I have given you. This, friend, is the very expression of the whole gospel of Jesus and what it means to come in a relationship with him. It's this idea that God is not some haughty curmudgeon up in heaven saying, live for me or else. That's not how God depicts our relationship. But it's God, in spite of our sin and in spite of our rebellion, moving first in our life. Don't you see that's what's happening here? You see, the children of Israel were just in slavery and they were in bondage going through all their stuff. And God said, I'm going to send a guy named Moses, and he's going to come deliver you. And I'm going to open up Red Seas, and I'm going to pour plagues against Egypt. And when you get hungry, I'll bring out cinnamon toast crunch from heaven. And when you get thirsty, I'll go speak to a rock and it'll pour you out water. And when your enemies come against you, I will scatter them. I will free you up to walk into my promises. God moved first in our lives. You didn't save yourself, God saved you. You didn't love yourself, God loved you first. And now he says, enter into my joy and live for me. So much so that verse 2 says, I've done all this that you may fear the Lord your God. Something I'm currently teaching my little boys, saying, what does it mean to fear the Lord? And they says, to be scared of him? Is it like Mufasa, Dad? Like with Mufasa? Ooh. No, when God says fear, he doesn't want you to be afraid of him. He just wants you to reverence him, to love him, and to know him. And the way I can do that is by first recognizing that he loved me so much that he moved first on a cross called Calvary. And now I move second. It's a brand new week, and God has already made his move to say, I love you, and I sent my son for you. What move will you make for him that shows your fear of the Lord? Maybe the move you need to make is giving some extra effort in the marriage. Maybe the move you need to make is by showing even more love and empathy to your loved ones and to your friends and coworkers. Maybe the move you need to make is finding a stranger that you bump into this week and just say, I'm going to serve you. What can I do to help you? And tell you about the love of Jesus. God has made a move. And this week, we get to make a move and fear his name. Oh, guys, it's going to be a good week. And that's hope for today. I'll see you next time.